I hope you had a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. We are coming to the end. We have four more classes. Oops, ignore that cattail. We have four more classes remaining, including today. So you have today, you have Friday, which I know that's unusual. I'll explain what that'll be for us in a second. But Friday, and then you have Monday and Wednesday of the following week. And then the following week after that is just catch up. I want to just say you should be checking Power School, okay? Double check it, make sure it's accurate, make sure you're making up any missing work. Power School is as up to date as I have it, okay? Meaning it is filled out as far as I know. If you've submitted something and it shows as a 0, chances are it was late and you never told me you handed it in. I do not check frequently for late work, okay? It's just I've already graded it and Teams doesn't tell me when something has been turned in, and I can't constantly check because with how many students are missing work, if I did that, it would take up every single second of every day. And I'm just not doing that. You have the ability to send me a quick email and let me know. Many of you have, which thank you. I'll always respond back and let you know that I've gotten something. If I haven't gotten it, and you haven't gotten an email back from me, that means I haven't seen it. So check if you've submitted something that a while ago and it still shows a 0, let me know. That way I can fix it. And we'll go from there. You do need a 60 for this class, for this quarter, in order to not have an incomplete. And I don't want that for anybody, okay? But it is one of those things that if you have less than a 60, you're going to have to do work next year to make up for the things you didn't do during this time, okay? You have at least the benefit that you won't fail the quarter, but you don't have a choice. You will have to make it up next year. And it's just too easy to reach out to me, find out what's important to make up to get you to that 60 point in order for it to work. There have been some questions as far as grading. You need a 60, okay, to not have to worry about this class next year. If you have higher average than what you did the first 3 quarters, then this will actually help you. And if you have a lower average than previous quarters, it won't count. You'll get a pass and that's it. It won't actually count towards your GPA. So make sure you're making up work. That's really the story here. I'm happy to help you. You just need to reach out to me because if you've not asked for help and I've reached out to you and you've ignored me, it gets to the end of the quarter, I am not going to end up changing grades if you haven't at least attempted to do something by reaching out to me and working with me. And again, I'm in your corner. I want you to pass. I want you to not have to worry about 9th grade social studies in 10th grade. So now's the time. Check it over, reach out to me, get help when you need it. All right, that should be it on my grade spiel. Let's talk today. Today we are going to be doing an activity that requires you to pull information from the previous 2 activities that we've done, okay? We are doing a mini activity on Rwanda. In fact, you're going to be creating a textbook page that covers Rwanda. If you were to open up your own textbook now and you go back to the index and you find Rwanda, there are literally 3 sentences in your textbook that covers all of that information that we've already talked about, which is insane. So the scenario here, let me get this up and running for you so you can see, is you're going to be creating a textbook section about the Rwandan genocide. The textbook company has hired you to write a case study section in their new textbook edition. This is a difficult and sensitive section because of the focus of the events leading up to the genocide in 1994 and its aftermath. To ensure that this new textbook offers not only an accurate account of what occurred, but also reflects the different perspectives of the different elements in Rwandan society. Remember, Hutus and Tutsis blame each other. They don't agree on what happened, okay? So you want to be fair to both perspectives in your textbook, okay? Now, in order to get full credit, okay, these events should be covered. The lead up to the genocide itself, and the aftermath, okay? You should have 1 to 2 paragraphs for each of those, okay? I would say 1 paragraph should be sufficient, okay? So that's technically 3 paragraphs in this activity, Again, lead up to the actual genocide and the aftermath, what happened afterwards. Okay. You should also have some visuals and charts and graphs, to at least 3 of them, to kind of include in your textbook page. And I'm going to show you examples in a second. Okay, you have to be fair to both the Hutu and Tutsi. Their perspectives need to be tied into your account. Now, I know it says here that you have to pick 3 or 4 headers below and write 1 to 2 paragraphs each. You don't have to use these headers, but these are guides. If you don't know how to do this, okay, you're going to pick a few of these. Okay, so they could be these exact headers. They could be ones that you've chosen. So colonial impact on Rwanda, the road to genocide in Rwanda, long-term impact of genocide in Rwanda, Rwanda today. I'd even add one that I will put in here too about like the events of the genocide. Okay. And again, if you want to come up with different headers, that's perfectly acceptable, as long as you're covering those 3 areas: the lead up, the actual event, and the aftermath. Now, this activity in full is due Monday, June 1st. Please be aware of this. If you put off this activity and you do it all the night before it's due, you are in trouble. This activity will probably take you a full hour and a half. Okay. So, in order to prevent that from happening, there will be a 5-point rough draft due on Friday. Okay. And what I need to see, it'll be a grade where you either have it or you don't, and you will not be able to make it up. Okay. Like within the day. So if you don't get it in on time on Friday, but it's in on Friday by the end of the day, you're actually, I'll accept it up until Monday's date. Okay. It'll still count as late, but I'll at least accept it. Past Monday, I am not accepting the rough draft. Okay. It'll just be 0 points out of 5. So I'll be checking a rough draft. What you need to have is at least 2 paragraphs covered, because you have a minimum of 3. You need at least 2 covered. Okay. Then on Friday, what you'll be doing is finishing up that 3rd paragraph, or however many more, and formatting your textbook page, because part of your grade is going to be, that it shows you spent some time to make it look like a textbook. Okay. So I want to show you an example. This is one from a student that did it last year. I will say this, okay? They had a slightly different setup, okay, because we were in class. They had about 4 or 5 class days to work on this. So this one is longer than what I expect from you, but you get a pretty good idea of how they set it up. So they have pictures. They made it look like the textbook where they actually did like the chapter introduction. They have different headers: setting the stage, ethnic divisions in Rwanda, the Hutus and Tutsis, tensions rise, the spark. Again, I don't expect you to have this many paragraphs, but you can see how they used our textbook as a format, and then they have citations at the end, which the only time I need citations from you is if you use information that I didn't present you with. So if it's stuff that you got out of the last 2 days, then you don't need to cite it. But if you use something else, then you're going to have to cite it. Okay. I expect this to be 1 page, not the full, 3 pages that they did here, because this actually was group work in the actual school setting, and it is not group work for you. You can see that they put in valid images. They made it look like a textbook. Okay. I'm going to also show you the rubric, which I'm switching to now. The final activity will be worth 20 points. So you have 5 for Friday's rough draft, and then another 20 for the actual project itself. The first 10 points are the final product and visual appearance. So all requirements were met, meaning you had at least 3 headers dealing with the lead up to the actual genocide and the aftermath. Okay, you have a paragraph for each. You have citations if you used information that I didn't provide you with. Okay, you have no spelling errors. And I have to warn you, this is going through Turnitin. Your rough draft probably won't, because I don't want it to ding you on when you actually submit it. But this has to be in a Word document, and it has to be submitted in assignments, because it will be run through Turnitin. Okay, so I'll catch you if you copied from an outside source, or if you copied from a classmate or another student in the school, or actually another student anywhere that uses Turnitin. So that is, it's not going to be checked on Friday for Turnitin, but it will be checked on Monday. Okay. So that's the visual appearance and effort element of it. Then you have your content. Both perspectives were taken into consideration. You have both the Hutu story and the Tutsi story. Okay. Has good details about the events leading up to, during, and after the genocide. Okay. And that's 10 points. Your total will be out of 20. And then you'll be able to earn those points. Okay. So that is really in a nutshell what you're going to be doing. Okay. Again, do I expect it exactly like that model, which I'll also post in Teams for you to look at? No, I don't, because that is more time spent on it than what we have, as well as more people working on it. This is an individual activity. You are not working with anyone else. So my expectations are slightly different. But I wanted you to see what others have done in the past. Okay. What you need on Friday. You'll see the assignment that posts today. That is the rough draft. It'll have this instruction sheet as well as the rubric on it. I only want to see at least a minimum of the 2 written paragraphs. And then on Monday, the entire thing will be due, where you'll have to have your 3 paragraphs. It'll have to be formatted in the style of a textbook. Now, I know people have issues sometimes with Word, because it does have to be in Word, with the formatting going funny. I want you to know that if you do this in the app on your PLD, and then you upload it to your OneDrive and then link it to Teams, I can get to that formatting. It might look funny in Teams, but when I open it on my end in the app, I'll see how you actually set it up. So I don't want anybody panicking that, oh, all the formatting disappeared. Okay, so I'll give more instructions on Friday. I'll also have a Zoom conference on Friday for anybody who needs help or has questions at 9:30 again. So there's all that information for you. Please reach out if you have questions. I'm here, want to help you. We're almost done. Next week, we'll be doing Africa Today, looking at democracy and their economy, and then we're done. Okay. So have a good rest of the day. Make sure that you are getting work to me. Thanks. Bye.